Most of you still aren't subscribed. What are you waiting for? Also, I'm doing a giveaway. Stay tuned for the end of the video to find out how you can win 700 gems in Storybook Brawl. Enjoy. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be looking at the game that got me Mythic in January in Storybook Brawl. And as you can see by that number at the top of the screen, 3987, all we need is a 4th place finish with the first win of the day bonus in order to achieve Mythic this month. And this is a position that I do often find myself in with regards to hitting Mythic, because that first win of the day bonus does help so much in your climb. A lot of the times you can just get there by consistently finishing and not playing too much, just taking full advantage of that first win of the day bonus. However, normally I try to be a little bit splashier with my Mythic videos. Over the past 2 months I've gotten Mythic with Embiggening Stone and Black Prism Peter Pants, both on Wonder Waddle and Peter Pants, and actually Sharon was the other hero that got me to Mythic my first month playing the game. So all 3 of my friends there hanging out. I do think that Wonder Waddle or Horde Dragon is a great hero to pick if I was looking to do something splashy. Despite getting Mythic a few weeks ago with Peter Pants, nabbing a Black Prism on Peter Pants, that's not something you're always going to be able to do. So I do typically try to get Legend in a splashy way. However, with my recent tournament videos and just thinking about wanting to set myself up well for success on the tournament realm, I've been thinking more about just what makes a good game in a tournament. And I really do think that Peter Pants is the best hero for both tournament play and for legendary play when you are trying to do that climb up to Mythic, because you can almost guarantee that Peter Pants is going to get 2nd or 3rd place if you just play him consistently and are able to do so to moderate success. So that is kind of what I wanted to show off in this video. Not going to be anything super flashy, it's just, can we take Peter Pants? Can we get probably a 2nd place as we're able to do some hatball things and then fail to defeat our finals opponent because they've got access to additional level 6 and level 7 treasures and we kind of fall off. So that really is the goal with this video, but I do think that the lesson that it brings is a decently important one because of the fact that it will potentially mimic how a lot of you guys are looking to play, in that you are looking to play consistency and climb and hit that Mythic level. So this is an interesting opening for Peter Pants because generally you want to pick up a bunch of 3s. However, picking up Queen of Hearts as your first 3 is good. Queen of Hearts is a really good unit, and definitely so on Peter Pants, but it can be awkward because without having any other evil units to support it. So I just want to play a strong board here in the opening game. I figure I will be able to start picking up some triples once I get a little bit more gold, like here with these Shadow Assassins and Wretched Mummies. These are definitely triples that I want to be able to pick up. I just have to figure out if I want to toss a baby dragon or if I want to toss Tiny here. And honestly, both of these options have play to them. I'm going to go ahead and toss a baby dragon just because Tiny might be a little bit stronger to hang on to. And then I'm going to backline the Shadow Assassin, frontline 4 units, so that way hopefully Ogre Princess doesn't get attacked here, and we can play all these. I'm also hoping that my opponent, this APOC, doesn't play an Earthquake against us, because that would definitely spell disaster, but I think it's worth doing so and frontlining these units just to give Ogre Princess a little bit more likelihood to slay, and Shadow Assassin can then round out the back line. And this could go really well if Tiny attacks there. All right, this is perfect for us. That wound up working out really well. Didn't talk about too many of the early turns because I just wanted to talk about kind of my philosophy behind picking Peter Pants this game, which I do think is something like important to consider. And I've been beating this drum now for a few weeks, but I think Peter Pants is the best hero in the game. I think in terms of average performance, mean performance, Peter Pants is the best hero, and that other heroes don't perform nearly as well. So interesting decision here. I guess I'm slightly considering the gingerbread party. There's also like a pair here. I could pick up a second Tiny. I think that that's fine. I really do want to be spending as much of my gold as possible on playing tier 3 units, but I am going to pick up Tiny because it's like pretty significantly better than the baby dragon, I think, when I also need to slay because I want to try to scale these Shadow Assassins as well. So I do think that most of the units here that we've picked up are definitely powerful, and we're just going to try to play a powerful board with some 3-cost units and then look for some hats and some balls and things like that to eventually make us more powerful. Definitely a little bit of an awkward combat here as we miss both of our slays on my opponent's 1/5 Happy Little Trees, but the newly purchased Tiny is going to help us to do some more powerful things, and now we're going to cut it already. Well, I guess we'll play it. We'll play it over the other Tiny that we have, but you can see why it's not that great. Brave Princess might be a little bit late here. Sometimes I do like picking it up on Peter Pants because we then have the opportunity to like just get a tier 3 treasure out of it, which is like the most that you're ever going to look for in any capacity on Pants. So I do like Brave Princess sometimes, but I think this is ultimately just a little bit too late for it. If we had something like some Good Witch starts, sometimes you get a good start. I generally like playing Evil as my opening composition on Pants because you have all of these units that you can see here on the board plus Queen of Hearts, and obviously we eschewed the Queen of Hearts in the opening part of the game, but it still winds up being pretty powerful, like in this section. If I were to find a Queen of Hearts right now, I'd be able to find room for it on this board. And then also you've got Spellweaver. Don't typically wind up playing Creeper. You can see as we let a Creeper roll past here, unless you get like a really, really early start where you can actually start making use of the Creeper stats. Of course, if I see like a pair of Creepers in the early game, then I probably would pursue that, but that isn't what we're going to get here. So really decent combat RNG on this one is going to make this fight super easy and allow us to take out the Celestial Tiger. Let's see, what were our odds on this one? We were more likely to lose, yeah. So I thought we got a little bit lucky on that one, and that is the case. Do like taking Blind Mice, as I've said with Peter Pants, because that opens up the possibility that if one of our first few treasures winds up being a treasure map, then we already have the Blind Mice. So I don't like to pick up Blind Mice. Well, I do. I do like to pick up Blind Mice super early as well, because that will lead to just the, like, if you can grab a Forking Rod really early, then that's also pretty powerful. So sometimes I do like to do so with the Blind Mice. There's other good treasures that Peter Pants can pick up earlier, like Dwarven Forge or Ring of Rage, or really anything, but we're just going to wind up rolling a little bit, and then we will pick the triple up from Shadow Assassin, selling out of Ogre Princess. And this is one thing I like to do, just make sure my board is set up well before I purchase the treasure. So I put the tiny in, but Ancient Sarcophagus is a wonderful, wonderful pickup here. That's going to allow us to hit our opponents for 15 points of damage, not to their health, but to their creatures before the battle even starts. Was definitely a consideration there to lock for the Queen of Hearts, but I decided not to. And here you can see the Ancient Sarcophagus doing some work already. My opponent does have a really large Nutcracker, so that is going to be a tough one to crack, but we're going to be able to get through it with the Shadow Assassin and then clean up the rest of my opponent's board. And the Sarcophagus was definitely helping there, taking the Nutcracker down to only 11 health. Now we've just got to roll, try to find a hat and a ball, along with maybe something from this 3 blind mice triple. And what do we get? Well, other Hand of Vecna is probably the pickup on this board, just for some temporary power on the board, but Summoning Castle and Summoning Portal and Sky Castle definitely aren't going to be super powerful for us right now, so I'm just going to grab that. And wow, if you take a look, okay, maybe something's wrong with the tracker, but it's giving me 0% to win that last combat, and almost 100% odds to lose. So either we got really, really lucky with the Ancient Sarcophagus, or something isn't tracking right. But no matter. We will sell off this 3 blind triple here and pick up another Wretched Mummy, along with another Shadow Assassin for the turn. I do really want to be slaying with these Vampires, but that's really not the point of what we're trying to do right now. What we're trying to do is just collect triples and be as strong as we can in the meantime. And one thing that's really interesting that I noticed this game is myself and Sadrak have not played each other, and we are the lobby leaders. I did lose a combat early on, but Sadrak is completely undefeated up until this point. Just Sparky there on the Sadrak. So they are going to be someone who is potentially scary to face down the line. So, yeah, not looking forward to that one. And does look like we are doing pretty good, though, against the 3rd place player, the lobby leader, short of Sadrak, as we are able to deal 6 damage to Geppetto, and now it is Sadrak time. So we will make our own Sadrak here with Vampire. I'll pick up Crystal Ball. I do think either of those other treasures could have been good for us for the time being, but we'll definitely want to make use of picking up Crystal Ball while we are playing Peter Pants, and try to find that hat, try to find that ball, try to find that forking rod, and do some fun stuff with this hero, because that's ultimately going to be the way that you wind up winning. But part of the reason that you win with Pants too, and I do think that this is like a really important part to point out while showing off this demonstration of a pretty nice Pants game, is we're at 37 health right now, and Pants just gets an extremely powerful early lead on the game, and that is part of what makes Pants so strong, in my opinion, is the ability to pick up all of these strong level 3 characters, to pick up some of them starting on level 2, so you're really not losing those fights in level 2 either, and then just having a really, really strong mid-game that pressures the lobby, pressures some of your opponents, and allows you to get at least into like those top 4 finishes. That winds up being really strong. And we get an insane start against Sadrak there, where honestly, that fight is almost worth watching again because I was talking over it. Yeah, let's go back. This is a really fun one. So my Sarcophagus triggers just do a ton of work for us. They cast a fireball, and then we have 3 Sarcophagus triggers land onto my opponent's, maybe it was one mummy and then one sarcophagus, land on both of their lightning dragons so that our ranged units in the back are able to stay alive. And that's enough for us to win the combat and deal 10 damage to the lobby leader. So that is what I'm talking about. That is that mid-game power that Pants brings. And now we've got to translate some of that mid-game power into late-game power. Here we do see a Falling Stars plus Haunted Creeper combination, and honestly, it's probably worth it just to give everything +1 attack, plus pick up a tier 3 unit. I don't really want to pick up Vampire because it's going to be hard to triple some of these units that we already have combined, like this Shadow Assassin. I might want to give up on that, but I do really strongly have to consider like a White Stag pair. The problem with this White Stag pair, there's not really a great place to put it, so I think I'm just going to be picking up these Golden Chickens and saving some cash for the next turn. I'm strong enough for this turn, but the idea here really is I already have the Wicked Witch, and then I have these mummies, and then potentially have the Haunted Creeper that I just purchased. So these are the things that I want to focus on, and these are the things that I want to try to make triples out of. And I don't think I need another triple. Basically, there's 3 things that I'm building towards right now, and if I were to pick up like both of these stags, and then what happens if I see a creeper and a Wicked Witch, then I'm not going to have enough room on the bench to hold all of these triples. So for that reason, I'm just going to let it roll on by and just play this turn as it is. Wind up getting a pretty decent turn here as long as these spells are not anything super powerful. Lightning Bolt plus Poison Apple. Okay, well, I think we can survive that. That is going to be fine for us. And then, yes, Sarcophagus plus Mummy trigger is enough to take my opponent out. Hit them for 9, and that was the 3rd place player in the lobby. Going to play again against the 3rd place player in the lobby once more. And just roll past that chicken treasure. That's not something that we need. Pair of donkeys, pair of mummies, that seems great. Or triple of mummies, that seems great. So probably just want to take some treasure here. Honestly, there's conflicting opinions because I'm going to be replacing the Hand of Vecna here. So is it really worth to replace a treasure with another treasure just to dilute the treasure pool for Pants? It's really tough to say. Here I am going to go for a Queen of Hearts now that we have tripled the mummy. Basically, I'm working on like 3 triples at any given time, and I'm not super convinced that my Shadow Assassin is going to be able to triple. We do see the triple for Vampire here. I'd have to sell like Shadow Assassin or sell my I don't know, I'd have to sell something plus the chicken and the tiny to pick it up. But again, I don't want to try to triple something that I already have a triple of, because that's just kind of climbing an uphill battle, making it a little bit more difficult for myself when there's really no need. There's plenty of other evil triple units that we can pick up and do some stuff with. APOC just hitting 6 here is going to find a Good Boy plus a Hercules, so they're probably going to be getting a Hercules treasure from us this turn. Let's see. Yeah, we're not going to be able to stop that unless we mummy it here. Okay, we don't. I guess we could have if we hit it with a ranged unit, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to have enough stats to tie this combat with the Queen of Hearts, so I am fine with that. We do have a decision to make here whether we want the Shadow Assassin or not, and I do think I will take that. I don't want to go all in on tripling these tough to triple units, but picking up 1 is fine. And then we'll grab a Forking Rod, throw away the Ring of Revenge that was really just to dilute the pool, and now we are looking for the hat. And when we pick up the hat, because I do believe that we wind up tripling something here, probably the Shadow Assassin, and picking up the hat this turn, maybe it is the Good Witch here then. So we are going to sell this Golden Chicken, and then we can pick up the Good Witch and then cast a double Free roll. Oh, I don't even pick up the Good Witch. Okay, that's a little bit surprising, but just go for the free roll there. It's doubled, which doesn't actually do anything, but it does let us roll a little bit there. So I guess we don't actually have the decision to make this turn, but I'll talk about it regardless, is that when we pick up the Merlin's hat now, we've put ourselves in a place where our battlefield is really, really leaning on this ancient sarcophagus. So we are going to go down in power before we can go up. But we've basically, just with this sarcophagus, brought us to a place where we're probably going to be able to top 4. I don't think we're going to be able to win this fight. This Lancelot is really strong, but I think we've gotten ourselves into the top 4, and we're probably only taking 9 damage here. Maybe we're taking 12. Depends on if the sarcophagus triggers. Okay, looks like the sarcophagus triggers can hit that. Okay, nice. It was 50-50, so it was kind of close. But we still took 9, and we're going to have to go down in power unless we want to keep taking 9 every turn. So we might pick up a Merlin's hat and then take 12, or take 20 on a turn. As you can see, that sarcophagus did so much work for us there. And I guess that's why I forgot. I knew I wound up tripling the Wicked Witch and picking up the Merlin's hat, but I guess I held off for a second. So now we've got the hat, and we've got the ball, and we've got the fork. The only things that we are looking for are Spellweavers, Wizards Familiars, and casting spells. And that is really our main goal here. I guess we can triple this Shadow Assassin. It's fine. It doesn't hurt us to do so, so I think I will go for that. We wound up being able to activate our Cinderella, which gives us some additional cash. And actually, once we triple this, or once we have this additional cash, I'm not even sure that I want the Shadow Assassin. I take it here because, basically because we're out of time. And I'm like, all right, well, there's no time left in the turn. I might as well play the Shadow Assassin because I want to at least be able to, like, play enough units here that we're not just totally wasting all of our gold. But that's always tough. The first turn where you find the hat ball is always the tough one because you always want to do more than you have the time to do. And it does look like we'll fall a little bit short on this combat as well. Like I said, we might wind up in a position where we take, okay, more than 9. We take 16 damage here. But now is when we start trying to convert this into an actual win. So we're just skipping any treasures that we can find. We're picking up Spellweavers. We are grabbing some tier 6 units. And we're growing our Spellweaver and our Wizard's Familiar. And you can see we just picked up this Spellweaver and we just tripled this Wizard's Familiar and picked it up within the past turn or two, but already we've got a 50-50, and that's something that could potentially rival like the Lancelot that we saw from our opponent not too long ago. I don't really want to sell the Creeper because it's a tree, so I wind up selling some other units here, and I do think that we are going to wind up putting our Shadow Assassin back in, but that is totally fine. We've made a pretty nice board for ourselves. I guess, you know what, I should be cutting this other Wizard's Familiar and putting in this Shadow Assassin. All right, now this is good, and like I said, our Wizard's Familiar probably can't rival Lance as it currently sits. Their Lance has probably grown, but that was like a 70-something Lance that Gwen had, and now we're playing up against the Sphinx. We're going to get a forked kidnap, so we're going to get 2 kidnaps here, and that could potentially add some additional stats and units to our board, allow us to replace these Shadow Assassins, replace this Mummy, and the Spellweavers and the Wizard's Familiars are just going to grow, and we're going to be in a pretty decent spot right about now. So would love to maybe pick up the Lance or the Apple Tree. We're going to pick up a Croc, and the Croc is going to have a baby bear inside. So that is a weird one. Just got a notification that Woodrow is awake. So maybe I'll show off Woodrow at the end of this video if he is still up. But we're not going to be able to do anything with a Croc with a baby bear inside. That is a really weird pickup, and that is definitely going to be an awkward one. But as you can see here, we've gotten to top 4 with Pants. Well, we take out Sphinx, which means we're top 5, and I'm assuming one other person, either the Zelhua or the Gwen, is going to die. And the Gwen goes bye-bye. Now we're up against the Zelhua, and we're almost in a decent spot to win this thing. We've gotten a pretty lucky game on Pants here. This isn't a particular high roll, but eventually we found the hat and the ball. And now we're just casting spells and we're growing our crew here. And I think that it is very, very possible that we are able to make something better out of this. We roll our spells in the wrong order there as we find the True Love's Kiss and then we find the pair of Mix-a-Whizzles. But we are going to be able to grow our board strength a little bit in this one. Honestly, turning the Mummy and the Shadow Assassin into some other units isn't actually that beneficial, but the Siren's good, and the Baba Yaga's good. So there are some potential things that we can do with this units. Again, we're like out of time. There's just not enough time on the clock to do everything that we want to do. I'm going to flip the Baba Yaga again, and it's going to turn into 9C Terror, and I just ran out of time. There just wasn't enough time on the clock. It's going to happen sometimes playing Pants, but it does look like we are bigger than this Zelhua. It's just going to turn into, like, what spells do they cast? And they cast a pretty huge spell, turning our biggest unit into a chicken. That one definitely hurts. Luckily, we do have a backline filled with a bunch of range units, and this game is really going to come down to how these ranged units are able to attack here. So Pigs is not quite... Oh, Pigs is going to be able to kill. All right, so that's a little bit annoying, but this Piggy doesn't kill. We get to take out that. This Piggy doesn't kill, and now it's a tie. As long as their spell doesn't zap me, but it looks like it does. They get a smite, and oh, you know what? The Falling Stars actually killed their Aeon as well. That was only at 1 health. It was at 11 health attacking into our Pig. So that is going to kill them. And this is an awkward decision here to combine the Spellweaver, but I think we do have enough potential units that we're working with right now that I don't feel too bad picking up this Spellweaver here. Then we find a Jormungand, kind of an awkward one, but we will cast it nonetheless. Definitely want to find some more Spellweavers, that would be great. And I do throw a Beauty's Influence on my big angry pigs, whatever that unit is called, just so that way I can potentially shard it if we are able to find a shard of the Ice Queen coming up. I am going to sell Haunted Creeper to pick up a second Wizard's Familiar, so we will potentially be able to make some of that stuff work. And let's see how many spells we can cast here in the final moments. Need to put in this Wizard's Familiar too. It's a huge Wizard's Familiar, and then we'll go for Glory to pick up some more units on the other side of this battle. But Jormungand is really big. Is it big enough to kill some good boys? That I'm not sure. It's good enough to kill some good boys, but is it good enough that we are going to be able to kill some good boys? That's the important part. My opponent with triple ranged units in their backline. This whole fight is going to come down to how much work can my Spellweaver put in, and we are a little bit disadvantaged by the Spellweaver not having... not being 2 units, by it just being 1 unit. So maybe that was a mistake to even consider combining my Spellweavers there, but no matter, it's what we went for. So now we are up against the Ghost, and honestly, it seems like this should be enough to get second. The Apocalypse should take out Zelhua. I've just got to roll and see if I can add a little bit more power to my board in the meantime. 2 trees are interesting. They definitely add some power, but they're not going to add the type of power that we are going to need to win this one. So I think that we are going to still wind up falling a little bit short again. We do still have a little bit of time, though, to make it happen. And I suppose we can eeny meeny and then sell the units that we get if we don't wind up picking up the Wizard's Familiar. So that's exactly what we do here. We pick up a Wizard's Familiar, get a triple of that, and then just use that triple to buy a chicken and use that triple to buy the Wizard's Familiar again. Not sure that we're really going to need another Wizard's Familiar. But yeah, it's an option. And one thing that you do want to do sometimes as Pants as well is eventually start to kiss your Wizard's Familiars, at which point then you want additional Wizard's Familiars to pick up so that you are still gaining stuff from all of the spells that you are casting. You can see the Spellweaver that we just got is already quite big. And should all be big enough to beat this opponent. Yeah, this guy is pretty small, but the main thing is that I think our main opponent is going to be this APOC, and trying to find a way to deal with this APOC after they take out Zelhua. And honestly, even if they don't, even if we don't rather, I'm not sure how much we can care, because like I said, we were just playing for second in this game, and that is something that you kind of do have to resolve yourself with when you are playing Peter Pants, is that maybe you're just going to be getting second, and maybe that's good enough. I think that even if you just had say there was a hero power that just said you get second place, you win, you've got second place, that would be the best hero in the game. And I think that's kind of what Pants is, and I think he's strong for it. So yeah, I'm not mad about it. And I think that that's reasonably powerful. I kind of want to cast Double Kidnap, steal some good boys. Our entire board is good, and maybe if we can find a tie, if we are able to steal 2 upgraded good boys, that could be something that allows us to compete, that allows us to battle with my opponent's APOC. But it's going to take a lot here to win regardless, and I'm not really sure there's any tier 5 treasure that we would even want to throw in. Like Mimic is obviously interesting. My opponent now with 3 upgraded good boys, that's going to be tough. So we take out one of the good boys there, then good boy trades with our unit, and then we're not even able to trade back with the good boy. So 300 attack, we are going to be able to get past their front line, but getting past their back line was all a matter of how much they attacked into that first Shadow Assassin, because that would have been able to one-shot stuff. However, they are going to hit us for Exacxes and down to 0. Hit us for 10, down to 0 there, but that's enough for the first win of the day. That's enough to get us into Mythic and to say that we are incredible. So pretty good result there, all things considered. And I do think that that is a result that you can count on with Peter Pants, and that's the reason that I think Peter Pants is the best hero in the game as it currently sits. And that's really for if you're trying to climb to Mythic, if you're trying to make day 2 in a tournament, or even if you're trying to make top 8 in a tournament. If you were able to play 4 Pants games, get 2nd or 3rd both times, that is about 38 points. Or 37.5 points. That's enough from this past tournament that you would have top 8'd in day 2. So for that reason, I think that Pants is consistent enough at what he does, and what he does is hatballing and picking up mages and getting 2nd place. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace. I'm going to be giving away a 700 gem bundle at the end of this month, and here's how you can enter for your chance to win. First things first, subscribe to this channel. That won't enter you into the raffle, but you will have to be subscribed to win. In order to enter into the raffle, all you have to do is comment on a Storybook Brawl video, including this one. Every time you comment on a Storybook Brawl video on my channel this month, you'll get a raffle ticket for my January giveaway. If you comment on a video within the first 72 hours of me posting it, then you get 2 raffle tickets. And if you comment on a video within the first 24 hours of me posting it, I'll give you 3 raffle tickets. Might also offer more ways to enter in the future. I don't want to break the economy of this. I want the main way to enter to be commenting. So leave a comment right now. Let me know what you think of the giveaway and of the video. And thanks for watching.